Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome to another episode of Comment, Foolery, Exposed. In this episode, we have the one, the only evil baby who loves commenting on the exotical space. She says she will never say that in their presence. She's always on YouTube venting about how everyone is jealous of her. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, everyone's jealous of me. Out of all my 500 videos on YouTube, that's all I talk about is how everyone is so jealous. Oh my god. And for this person, it's like, clearly she's a fan of my YouTube channel, a huge fan, because she is all over the Lipstick Alley threads about me. But evil baby, I mean, if you're so smart and so great at YouTube, where's your YouTube channel? Oh, what? That's right. It doesn't exist. This next comment is about a woman who is bragging about her proximity to white men. So they were talking about my video on divestment and why a lot of unambiguous women will not divest. This woman says, I know Haitians, Nigerians, etc. who barely speak English well and got married and gave birth to a white man's baby within less than 5 years of touching down in America. Again, barely speak English, far from fluent, and not just married, but kids with a white man. That's why I was like, the proximity thing makes no logical sense from my perspective. In America, there are endless single white men. Congratulations on getting pregnant by white men within 5 years of moving to America. I am so sorry. I may as well bow down and worship the almighty divester who is so privileged to be pregnant by a white man. Someone said, I really think YouTube channels like this or even that DZ lady are plants to lower the self-esteem of Black women and people. Why would you watch a YouTube channel that lowers your self-esteem? Oh, hey, I'm feeling really bad about myself today. Let me go and watch a channel and then get on a Lipstick Alley thread about a channel that lowers my self-esteem. Oh yeah, that's going to help me build confidence. Someone else said, did a Black woman sleep with this woman's man because this is some dumb shit? Get off social media and go outside because all I see where I live and go are beautiful Black men and women thriving and doing well for themselves just like any other race. Chick must be going through it to spend this much energy on Black women. She must be hit in the face or deeply insecure that Black women are so fabulous, because we really are. Oh, you're so fabulous that you spend your time watching my YouTube channel and commenting on it while simultaneously bragging about the beautiful Black men that you encounter. And also notice how this commenter is implying that I must be angry that like somebody slept with my man. Oh, projection much? It's giving male-centered. This person said, this lady isn't even biracial. Her mom is biracial and her dad is Black. And from her photo, she looks 100% Black. So suddenly, apparently, everyone knows what I look like now. Oh yeah, did you hear? Apparently I got doxxed and exposed. Oh, and by the way, how does not being biracial invalidate someone's talking points? Have you ever noticed how when these people comment negatively on these YouTube channels, they can never actually give a good argument against the talking point? The only arguments are comments like, oh, your white side won't accept you, or you're not white enough. This person says, if you are a person, male or female, that promotes expanding options, you are in no position to demand that biracial people stay out of Black spaces. Exactly. As previously stated, it seems that their Blackness is acknowledged when there's an agenda or a narrative to push. Yes, and because of that, I will continue to have a fluid identity until unambiguous Black Americans put an actual percentage on what Blackness is. We will continue to jump in and out of the Black community at will. We will continue to make money in the Black community at will. And I don't know how many times I have to say this, but the term exotical, it's not a race. I think people are just mad because this YouTube channel is able to bring unity between both mixed race Black women as well as monoracial Black women who have experienced benefiting from isms or who have been accused of benefiting from isms in the Black community. A lot of people don't like the unity that this channel promotes because they feel like it's based on the disunity that unambiguous women promoted on their channels. And it's like, you can't tell us to get out of your spaces and create our own channels and get mad when we follow your instructions. This person says, if you read any, and I mean any, of my other posts on this thread, I have said 100 million times there are Africans, Nigerians, Haitians, Jamaican men who are incredible men and multimillionaires. I'm dark-skinned black myself and don't worship white people. I just happen to have married one. I don't view him as my superior or the end-all be-all to my life. Meanwhile, this is the same woman that just commented about people getting pregnant by white men within 5 years. She said, I have self-preservation over any man. I am currently married to a white man who pays all my bills, and that makes me a dummy? Oh, okay, so you're not male-centered and you don't worship whiteness, but you just came on an Exotical's United Lipstick Alley thread, which is a channel that does not cater towards you so that you can brag about how the white man likes you better and how your friends that you know, they were able to get pregnant by a white man within 5 years of moving to America. Congratulations, Diamond Sevenfold. You have defeated the Exoticals. This girl says she's a preference who wants the come up and fall back women and mules to stay in their place since she knows that she will always be above them in the black community. Imagine trying to insult me, but you accidentally insult the entire unambiguous black diaspora by calling them come up, fall back women, and mules. Who's the real genius? Same old BS. You're a smart one, aren't you? This girl says, agreed. These Exoticals United videos were recommended to me out of nowhere. Oh yeah, because the YouTube algorithm just recommends stuff just completely out of nowhere. It has nothing to do with what you search or what you click on. Oh no, there's no way you could have come across my channel before and clicked on multiple videos. Oh no, you just happened to end up on my channel. Kind of like how you happened to end up on a 25-page Lipstick Alley thread about Exoticals United. It wasn't you that clicked on my channel, Baby Bubble Yo-Yo 97. Oh no, it was the YouTube algorithm gods that made you click on Exoticals United. She said, the videos were recommended to me out of nowhere, hiding behind decentering men and child-free talking points. This channel only exists so biracial and mixed women can punch down on black women. Imagine trying to insult my YouTube channel and you accidentally insult the entire African-American unambiguous population by saying that we're punching down. Meanwhile, you don't understand that I have monoracial black women on this channel. This channel actually is bringing unity amongst the community where you guys kicked people out because they weren't darker skinned and unambiguous enough? Yeah. She said, the algorithm is force-feeding me this garbage. Oh my god, she just can't control herself. She just has to click on Exoticals United's content. It's force-feeding her. She said, funny how channels like this and Kitten Heels are allowed to thrive while the black woman equivalent, Cynthia G, gets completely wiped from YouTube. Everyone is allowed to gang up and abuse us while we get silenced. It's giving conspiracy. Oh my god, my YouTube channel is so abusive. How dare I make a YouTube channel and force Baby Bubble Yo-Yo 97 to click on it? Oh my gosh, I'm evil. This person says, I'm a dark-skinned black woman and her channel was suggested to me on YouTube for whatever reason. So if you're a dark-skinned black woman and my channel was suggested and you see that the channel is called Exoticals United, why would you click on it? I mean, like if I don't like the name of a channel or if I feel like the brand of that channel doesn't really align with me, I'm just going to click the do not recommend button. Anytime I see a channel and it says Red Pill or Manosphere or something like that, I'm just going to click do not recommend. I don't click on it and then watch it and then go on a Lipstick Alley thread about it. You guys literally tell us that you want exclusive YouTube channels for dark-skinned, unambiguous black women, and you say that we should stop replacing you and stop derailing the conversations. And so then when we agree and say, okay, yeah, we'll get out of your spaces, then suddenly it's, this channel was just suggested to me and then I just clicked on it and then I just didn't like it. This channel shouldn't exist because it doesn't center my phenotype and my experience. So it's like, on the one hand, women told me to get out of their spaces and that no one's stopping me from creating a YouTube channel. And then when I do create a YouTube channel, the same group of women are mad that they're not included in the audience. And also, I really can't control who watches the channel. I have plenty of unambiguous women who watch the channel all the time. But you, Trilla Taste, you seem to have a problem because you're writing a 500-word dissertation on why my channel shouldn't exist. She says, anyways, thought her name was satirical, and she kept calling her viewers pretty girls, which I thought was just her pet name for them. Anyways, I scroll down to the comments, and it's literally how dark-skinned black women would imagine exotical women to speak about us when we're not around. Okay, first of all, why would I care about how people speak when I'm not around? When it comes to the Comment Foolery Exposed series, at least I'm getting paid to care about what people are saying on Lipstick Alley. But this girl, oh no, she's not getting paid to post on Lipstick Alley. She's just stalking people. And do you see what I mean when I talk about this fascination and obsession that people have with the women who are perceived to be quote unquote privileged in the Black community, whether they're monoracial or multiracial, benefiting from colorism, texturism, featureism, etc.? Do you see exactly what I mean? Like they'll say, hey, we need our spaces to vent or to, be strategic and level up. And then I'll support that and say, okay, yeah, you're right. I'll get out of your spaces. I don't want to distract you guys. But then they come over to these spaces and then go back to Lipstick Alley and create over 75 pages worth of content talking about this channel. And all it's doing is helping me to get paid even more. Exotical tax! She said, like word for word, I thought it was a parody or something, lol. Mixed woman crying about how mean dark-skinned Black women are while calling us jealous, ugly, or worse, insecure. Really? So I called you guys ugly? Can you pull up the receipts of when I said that? Because last time I checked, I wasn't dumb enough to do some of the same stuff that women have done over in the unambiguous spaces, because I have seen them talk about how mixed race women or lighter skinned monoracial Black women are ugly all the time, to the point where Chrissy has hidden her videos where she was talking about that. In fact, I've got another comment Foolery exposed video coming up where unambiguous women were saying that Nara Smith, who's biracial, looks like a pit bull. So who's the real one that's calling people ugly? She said, girl, it's 2023. Those talking points are so 90s. I'm sorry, are you saying that colorism is so 90s? Because last time I checked, unambiguous mono dark-skinned Black women were the main ones talking about colorism here on YouTube. And women who did not have that same experience allowed those YouTube channels to speak, and we still allow those channels to speak to this day. And instead of us going over to those channels and arguing back and forth in their comment sections, we decided to just create our own channels. I mean, there are literally over 30 channels over here in this space at this point, and new women are starting channels every day. By the way, if you have a YouTube channel and you kind of relate more to maybe this channel versus other channels, or you want to kind of redirect people, please be sure to comment down in the comment section. But this girl says, which I think she is from that era, or at least Gen X, because being light-skinned or mixed to them is like winning the lotto. Nice try, not Gen X. I wonder if you are, though. She said, the worst part is the quote-unquote pretty girl's name. It's so stereotypical to me, and what makes it funny is she swears she's changing the world by being colorist. Girl, it's been done. I'm sorry, who's a colorist? Because you may want to talk to your friend who just commented a couple of paragraphs ago and said that Black women were mules. You may want to talk to her about being colorist or racist. Just saying. And also, isn't it funny how she projects this grandiose mindset onto me? She's like, oh, Exoticals United thinks she's changing the world. It's like, how do you know what I'm thinking? And why are you even thinking about what I'm thinking? It's giving pedestalization. And she says, it's been done for hundreds of years across the globe. Oh, really? And how much progress did you make? I'll wait. She said she calls her followers pretty girls because of the privilege that they have over dark-skinned Black women in terms of perceived beauty based on white supremacy. That's completely false. I can call my subscribers whatever I want to. I can call my subscribers dinosaurs if I want. Me calling someone pretty doesn't mean, oh my God, it's only based on white supremacy. There are white women who watch this channel. There are Asian women who watch this channel. There are women from India who watch this channel. There are unambiguous Black women like yourself who watch this channel. So the term pretty girls is really for anybody who wants to view themselves that way or accepts that terminology or can relate to having pretty privilege. So, I mean, if you can't relate, that's fine, but it's giving projection. She said, like, are you going to mention white women? You know, the ones who are considered the beauty standard, or keep punching down on dark-skinned Black women? Wow, so your internalized anti-Blackness is showing because you literally use the term punching down as if I am above dark-skinned Black women. So that's your first flaw. And number two, I don't consider white women to be the beauty standard. I don't center my identity around whiteness like how you do, Trillitaste. So one thing that I've noticed is that for a lot of women in the Black community who have an inferiority complex, there's this obsession with whiteness and what do white people think of me? How do I compare to white women? White women are the beauty standard and not me. Anybody who's actually watched one of my over 500 videos would know my opinions on beauty, and I believe that beauty is subjective. So one person may consider white women to be pretty, but there are going to be other people who consider other groups of women to be pretty as well. You have a scarcity mindset when it comes to beauty and beauty standards. You believe that there's only one beauty standard and that white women are it and that you are not. So sounds more like a personal problem to me. She said the funniest part was that in the comments on one of the videos that I was watching, she said that even the names unambiguous black women call us are compliments, like preference and exotic. I was like, okay, so since they're compliments, please explain your persecution by black women. They thought you were pretty. They thought you were privileged. You relish in those things, so why do they confuse you? LOL, I'm sorry. The channel came across as very white women, and it kind of reinforced Chrissy's low-key, although she isn't perfect. So she said, would you explain your persecution by black women? So I can tell by that comment that you probably have not watched all 500 of my videos. This channel talks about everything that has to do with our experience in the black community, in the white community, and how people perceive us. So believe it or not, this channel actually does not focus on only the ways that unambiguous black women are persecuting us. This channel is really more of a level up channel that talks about how to navigate in the society that we live in and how to use strategies to our advantage. And so if you feel like this channel kind of reinforces a channel like Chrissy's, or you feel like Chrissy's channel is more relatable to you, then why aren't you on Chrissy's channel? Why are you on my channel and in my comment section and on my Lipstick Alley page? Yeah, that's right, because I'm famous now. So why are you on my Lipstick Alley page? Why aren't you starting one about Chrissy? You know, since her channel is so much better. This person said, this woman is sick. She really said Tamar Braxton, who's almost 90% black, is an exotical. So once again, we've got this person saying Tamar Braxton is too black to be considered exotic. How dare you think you're exotic and be black at the same time, Tamar Braxton? How dare you equate blackness to being exotic? You're not allowed to do that. Only white women can do that. Only white passing women can say that they're exoticals. How dare a 90% black woman think that she can be seen as exotic in the eyes of society? Anyone who actually watches my channel knows that this channel is based on those who are accused of benefiting from isms, colorism, texturism, or featureism. So Tamar is going to be accused of benefiting from colorism. And so because of her lighter skin tone, she is going to be othered from unambiguous dark-skinned black women. If Tamar were not famous, because I just use celebrities as an example, so if Tamar were not famous and she were a regular everyday person, she would not be welcome in a lot of the black women empowerment spaces here on YouTube. Anyone who watches this channel knows that this is a direct rebuttal to the mainstream content that I was watching before I started this channel. So yeah, if Tamar were to come across my content, she may find it to be relatable when I talk about the experiences of light-skinned monoracial black women. Okay, so in this part, they are talking about my perceived identity. This girl, Evil Baby, is so obsessed. She said, EU edits her voice. Her early vids had a deep voice filter, and now she either slows it down or speeds it up or something. Yeah, that's right. I forgot to tell you guys, I'm an alien, actually. My voice changes all the time. And my thing is, if my channel is so irrelevant, if all of us are so dumb and our talking points are so idiotic and we're so stupid and we make no sense and we're always contradicting ourselves, if all of that is true, then why would you be concerned? I mean, wouldn't we just implode? Wouldn't we just self-destruct? If everything is just like it doesn't make sense and it's super jumbled? And also, why are people putting myself and other channels within this space on such a high pedestal to the point where people are actually thinking that I'm like a Rosa Parks? People think that I'm damn near the next Kamala Harris with the way they're talking. And it's like, do you really put random content creators on that high of a pedestal? All I'm doing on YouTube is just making content. So yeah, I'm talking about my experiences. I'm kind of thinking out loud. And over here in this space, we are still in the process of developing a language to describe the types of things that we've been through. We are still figuring out different terminologies that we feel comfortable with so that we can continue to relate to one another. So the fact that people are putting us on such a high pedestal and holding us to such a high standard, that actually shows that they view this as a legit space and that they view this space on YouTube as being very legit. And it's very threatening because people wouldn't be making entire Lipstick Alley threads about it if it were not relevant. This person says, yep, I'm so sick of the unambiguous light-skinned black women acting like they receive the same privileges as biracial or ambiguous light-skinned black women, because they don't. So once again, we've got another person saying, you're too black. You're just a light-skinned black woman. You're not as good as a biracial or an ambiguous, more white-looking light-skinned black woman. So do you see this mindset, this inferiority complex that they're trying to project onto light-skinned monoracial black women? By the way, nobody in this space has ever said every single one of us is a monolith. I've never seen any YouTuber in this space, whether they have all the same talking points as me or not, never seen anybody say that all of us are a monolith. But this channel validates the experiences of every group of women. I don't care if you're monoracial, I don't care if you are mixed passing or not mixed passing, 4C hair, 3C hair. But this person is seeking to use a classic divide and conquer tactic. So they're trying to pull the light-skinned black women out and say, hey, get back over to these unambiguous YouTube channels where you belong, because you're still unambiguous in the face, as if it makes you somehow lower or less than or less valid than a person who is biracial or a person who's like mixed race or has more white blood in them, basically. This person then goes on to brag about how ambiguous their sister is. She says, my sister is considered more ambiguous than me, and she's a bit lighter as well. People love to consider her of mixed race and love to talk about how pretty she is. The privileges she gets and the treatment she gets are very different from my life. Okay, so what she's basically saying is, because I get treated inferior to my sister, light-skinned black women, you should feel inferior to women who are biracial. You should feel inferior to women who are mixed race because you're still black. It's giving the you're still an N-word talking point. That's basically what she's trying to say. Meanwhile, this channel was never supposed to be just a race-based channel. That's why it's not called Mixed Women United or Biracials United. This channel always was looking to include monoracial black women who have been accused of benefiting from isms. I don't care where they're from. I don't care if they're from Africa. I don't care if they're from the United States. That's why I took the troll term exotical from the comment sections of channels like Chrissy or Cynthia G. That's why I took that terminology, because that's actually a term that I heard from them first. They were using that term to describe any woman who was not an unambiguous monoracial dark-skinned black woman with broad features. And as far as the pictures that I use on this channel to describe unambiguous women like Suki Hana or JT from City Girls or Ari Lennox or Normani, I got those images and representations from unambiguous black women themselves. And so if you're mad at this channel's existence, get mad at the channels that came before me that caused there to be a gap to where this channel needed to exist in the first place. She says, if we are so privileged, then tell me why the only light-skinned black women that flourish are those that look half white, and biracials are taking up our spaces. They look so stupid claiming that shit. Claiming what? And also, my channel is not even created for women who have a scarcity mindset like this. Like, oh, there's only room for people who are half white, light-skinned black women are excluded. That's not even the talking point of my channel. And that's your problem to this person posting this. She said, when you look into the life of most light-skinned black women, they don't look anything like biracials. When people are talking about light-skinned women, they are referring to the biracials and multiracial chicks. Not on this channel, so I can tell that this person probably hasn't watched a lot of my videos, because I understand that just because someone has a certain skin tone, it doesn't mean that they are going to have the same facial features as somebody else. She said, when black men, oh, here we go with being male-centered. When black men are talking about lighter-skinned women, they aren't talking about your average light-skinned black woman. So first of all, what's an average light-skinned black woman, and what makes her average and not beautiful? Is it her African features? Is it her African facial features? Is it her 4C hair? Because what makes light-skinned monoracial black women not as pretty as biracial or multiracial light-skinned women in your eyes, to the person who's commenting? Is it the black male gaze? She said, otherwise, when 2010 came along, there would have been more of us in those videos. Instead, they were filled with nothing but biracials or light-skinned black women looking biracial. They aren't talking about the Sanaa Lathan, the Queen Latifahs, or the Regina Halls. They were talking about the Zendayas, the Dreyas, and every other mixed chick. So that sounds like your own inferiority complex talking. So she's once again trying to divide us up, and she's trying to invalidate light-skinned monoracial black women by saying, because you don't look like Zendaya or Drea, you are beneath them. If you look like Sanaa Lathan, as if Sanaa Lathan is somehow beneath those other women, or Queen Latifah as if she's somehow beneath them. This person is exposing their own internalized anti-blackness because she's saying that because of texturism and featureism, you are beneath someone who is more white than you. Yet I'm the colorist, texturist, and featurist? She said the lighter-skinned black women on here are funny as well because they'll talk about a privilege they're supposed to have, and yet they talk about how black men dog them out, how racist white women are to them, how people fetishize them. Yeah, that's because this whole channel was not created for people to only comment about the types of privileges that they have. This channel just attracts women who have been accused of benefiting from those privileges. It's not like I'm over here saying, oh, you guys are required to comment down in the comment section about what exact privileges you have. No, that's your mindset. This person says, like, girl, meanwhile, biracial and ambiguous light-skinned black women are talking about the cops not giving them tickets and they get model offers from agencies and shit. So she's trying to imply that if you're a light-skinned black woman, you can't have the same opportunities. What in the Tyra Banks are you talking about? Nice try. Tyra is almost 90% black. I do not consider a person who's 90% black to be mixed race. I consider them to be unambiguous with admixture. If she wants to embrace that admixture, that's fine. If she chooses not to, I can't control that or identity police her. So Tyra Banks is someone that would count as a quote-unquote light-skinned monoracial black woman. So what are you talking about? She has modeling offers. She says, white people and black people drooling over their features. It's the Beyonce and Solange effect. One is considered black and the other isn't, despite both being black. So she's trying to say that if you look like Beyonce, you're going to be more privileged than someone like Solange. And that's the exact talking point that I go against on this channel. You will be accused of benefiting from certain privileges if you look like Solange. You'll be accused of benefiting from colorism. But I do not see it like, oh, it's this hierarchy to whiteness. And the closer you are to whiteness, automatically you're going to have a better experience. No, that's actually an inferiority complex because you're implying that dark-skinned black women are at the bottom. This whole entire paragraph is basically saying that light-skinned black women are second from the bottom because they are adjacent to dark-skinned black women. That is an inferiority complex teaching. Yet I'm the colorist? This person says, right, I think it's something mentally ill about the black race. They're so obsessed with anything that's lighter than them and what we're doing. It's like black people were bred that way. Why are they so obsessed with white people? It's like they want affirmative action so they can work with them, live around them, and sleep with them. They do the same thing with light-skinned black people. We're taking up spaces, but then if you leave, it's like, see, it's on. They move like a pack of wolves with nothing to lose. That's why I understand why some people are for segregation and don't want to live around black people. I'm starting to think that when they are having sex with men, they be thinking about us. It's like, damn, bish. Yes, I've noticed on one hand, it's the you're still an N-word talking point, get your ass back in the black community. And then on the next hand, it's, oh, well, you're privileged, so you can't relate. Give us our exclusive spaces. Which one is it? This channel acknowledges that we have a fluid identity. We're going to be thrown in and out of unambiguous blackness. We have accepted that that is our experience. Whether we are mixed race black women, biracial black women, quote unquote light-skinned black women, benefiting from texturism black women, or benefiting from featureism black women. We have all realized that we are going to be thrown in and out of blackness, and I took the satirical term exotical from the comment sections of these channels that claim to be supporting unambiguous black women, and I created an entire YouTube channel based off of it. This is not a race, it's literally just the title of a YouTube page. My channel is for anyone who can relate to it. I don't put people on hierarchy based on their skin, hair texture, or their features. But you know who does? The unambiguous black community in a lot of cases. She said, I'm not surprised she deleted your comment, shaking my head. They're trying to push the idea that unambiguous black people mostly look the same. Brown Skin Exotical's channel also does this. While it's true that races have similar traits, it's not true that we don't have a variety of features, just all around ignorant. So now they're doing the same thing that women did in the last Comment Foolery Exposed episode, where they're like, we come in all colors and hair textures and eye colors, and what are you talking about? Rihanna and Beyonce, they're basic, unambiguous, brown-skinned black women. Tyla is a brown-skinned, unambiguous black woman. Beyonce looks like every woman in Houston. Okay, so if all of us have the exact same experiences, the term unambiguous would not have needed to be created. And so this channel is really geared towards the ambiguous black women's experience. So whether your ambiguity comes from your skin tone, whether it comes from your hair texture, or your facial features, eye color, or even your race, that is what this channel is for. This person says, I can see this being true. Similar to MTS, she isn't given as much grace as the women who are actually mixed or ambiguous. Oh, they're talking about Megan Thee Stallion, I'm assuming? She said, EU seems to believe that having admixture is the same as being mixed. False. That's not what I believe. I've actually created a standard on this channel for what I'm going to call mixed race. I've been talking about this for years now. I said I consider 25% or more of another ancestry or a combination of other ancestries to be undeniably mixed race. Anything under that I consider to be admixture, and people are going to argue back and forth about whether this person is mixed or not. But for the people who have not taken a DNA test, who like maybe don't believe in it or don't have access to it, or they don't want to give the government their DNA, that's why I talk about those who benefit from isms, such as colorism, texturism, or featureism, because in the Black community, ignorant people are going to say you're mixed because they perceive people who benefit from colorism, texturism, or featureism as looking mixed. And of course, I know, anyone on this channel knows that that's ignorant. We know that there are Black passing mixed people just like how there are white passing mixed people. But I can tell this person hasn't watched a lot of my videos. She said, most African Americans have admixture. I never said that African Americans can't have admixture. I just don't think the average African American has 25% or more admixture. I think a good amount of people might, like especially if they have a Creole background or something. She said she repeatedly tries to claim women who identify as African American or Black. I'm assuming that she's talking about me talking about celebrities. I reference celebrities on this channel because celebrities are familiar faces that everyone knows. So I use them to represent certain phenotypes. I have the right to use celebrities as an example, just like anyone else. And who gon' check me? This person said, every time I see someone say, you look like that because you're almost half white anyway. And I'm like, no, sis. All of us have the potential to have a kid that light because most of us are admixed. That's why when we date out, our kids look very, very biracial and ambiguous because we have white DNA within us. So in one breath, you guys are mad that I talk about people who have admixtures and how I don't believe you should hate yourself, by the way. So a side effect of my channel is there are some unambiguous women who are choosing to no longer hate their admixtures, especially if that admixture shows up in your DNA. Like if you happen to be 20% Asian or something like that, or 20% indigenous, and it happens to show up in your DNA, it makes no sense to hate yourself or to hate that part of yourself because it's not the majority or because you're not biracial. Why is it that if somebody is less than 50% of something, they're not allowed to embrace their admixture? So that's number one. And number two, I never said that all African Americans are 100% African. I understand that for most people, you might have 1 to 2% of something else, maybe even 5 or 10%. I've noticed that once you get past around 10%, 10 to 20%, sometimes it might show up in a person's phenotype and sometimes it won't. And that's why I include people who are monoracial and it just happened to show up in their phenotype because there's no space for people like that on YouTube. Until now. This person says, I agree that she copies Chrissy. It's like people get mad that there's a person to enlighten the darker women on colorism, so what they do in reverse of that is make a platform for Exoticals to go cry on and talk about what fully Black women, brown and dark, did to them. I don't even understand Exoticals United's page. I've seen a few videos and didn't understand. The reason you don't understand, Poetic Goddess, is because you're not my core audience. This channel doesn't revolve around unambiguous, monoracial, dark-skinned Black women. And it's funny how you think Chrissy's channel is great, and then you say that my channel copies Chrissy, but my channel's not great? Like, what do you mean? If Chrissy's channel is great and I copied Chrissy, then that would mean that my channel is great, wouldn't it? So you might want to check your own logic on that one. And also, no one on this channel or in this space has a problem with unambiguous women having their own spaces. I actually agree that women of every phenotype and every race actually have the freedom of speech and they have a right to create YouTube channels. So why is it okay when someone else makes a YouTube channel? Oh, but suddenly Exoticals United can't have a YouTube channel. I feel like some people are literally just jealous of this space. They're literally mad because we do a good job branding. We talk about leveling up content on here. We're not spending all of our time beefing with one another like how they did in the Black empowerment sector. I mean, I couldn't keep up with all the beef that was going on over there. And so over here, we're just kind of minding our business. We're not pulling up pictures of women on this side of YouTube and talking about how ugly they are or saying that women look like animals and stuff. We're not doing that. And suddenly it's a problem. And also, no one is stopping Chrissy or other women from making more colorism content. Chrissy decided to stop making colorism content because she was influenced by this space over here. And how many other channels are popping up where light-skinned black women or Creole women and just biracial women, where everyone is starting to share their story. I mean, a lot of those women, they became so threatened to the point where they don't want to talk about light skins anymore. So I feel like people are just mad because they view it as this side is kind of winning, or we're kind of like, not allowing people to silence us anymore. And really, there's nothing wrong with that, because having a conversation means that it's a conversation between two different people. So people who are unambiguous, they get to make a video, and then we get to make response videos, or we get to give our commentary as well. When before, the mindset was more so like only dark-skinned, unambiguous women could speak on the topic of colorism or blackness, and nobody else was allowed to speak. And so now that era has ended. It is a new era on YouTube, and get over it. This girl said, "It's like whites who advocate for a White History Month when all year long we learn white history. The privileged victimizing themselves. Dark-skinned black women, keep your eyes and ears and senses about. Very rarely have I met light skins who are able to empathize with dark-skinned black women." People empathizing with you is not the same as people agreeing with everything you do. So the issue with our space is, even though we empathize with the plight of blackness and our African Americans and dark-skinned women, by the way, why is everybody pretending like I don't have dark-skinned women on my channel? Like, I wouldn't even be here if this channel didn't include darker-skinned mixed women. Also, why are people pretending that dark-skinned mixed women don't exist? And why are people pretending that dark-skinned monoracial black women cannot benefit from texturism and featurism? That's another thing. People act like I have no dark-skinned people on my channel, or like I never talk about anyone dark-skinned who benefits from an ism. Have you ever noticed how they conveniently leave that part out? So people are literally just mad because this channel unites so many different phenotypes and different experiences. And a lot of these women, they thought that was impossible because a lot of them are in a competitive mode. And so they don't know that it's possible to go to a YouTube channel and just like have fun and like talk shit and move on. Also, this is not a victim channel. This is not a part of the Victim Olympics. I don't want to have the crown for the most victimized, unprotected, undesired woman on earth. I don't want that crown. In fact, this channel fights against that because we don't want it to be like, the ambiguous types of black women are the ones who are at the bottom. No, I'm not going to allow that to happen. Not on my watch. This girl also said, "Child the bolded." Imagine being mad at Chrissy for creating a channel to teach non-privileged girls how to navigate, and then you in return make a channel to be a victim. That's funny how you say that because you're the one calling unambiguous dark-skinned black women non-privileged. I actually believe that dark-skinned privilege exists. I believe that black privilege exists. So you're actually the one who is putting my channel on a hierarchy above Chrissy's. So that's number one. And then number two, like I said, this channel has nothing to do with being a victim. In fact, I have a whole series about privilege stacking and pretty privilege and all kinds of privileges and how to continue to gain those. And I've never seen any other content creators talk about it in the way that I do. And that includes women like Chrissy or any other black empowerment channels that you see. I've never seen anybody talk about it like me. So, Exotical tags. I'm being spicy today. So this person said, "I just discovered her channel a few days ago and I binge watched a few videos. I find it interesting that she considers Justine Skye to be mixed. However, Justine has 2 black parents. She also alludes to anyone who has 25% of another race as an exotical. I am African American. However, my grandfather is biracial and my mother is 25% white and my father is 100% black. I wouldn't consider myself mixed, and according to her talking points, I am not. However, I do have brown skin and a looser hair texture." So you start off disparaging my channel, and then you go on to discredit it and give yourself power by approximating yourself to my channel. Yeah, you might want to get some help for those mental gymnastics you're doing. Love her last name. And if you can't relate to my channel, it's probably not for you, so you should probably unsubscribe. Evil Baby says, "Well, duh, she's always around black people." Oh, so notice how she's actually the one disparaging black people? What's wrong with being around black people, Evil Baby? She said, "She's always around black people. She went to an HBCU and everything." What's wrong with HBCUs? Sounds like you're the anti-black person, not me. She said, "It's obvious she got her feelings hurt a few times by them. That's why I keep saying that she should make it clear her channel is for exoticals who are in the black community." I talk about that all the time. Anybody who actually has critical thinking skills and has watched my videos would actually know that. What brings us together is our Black experience. So nice try. She said, I don't relate to anything she says as a biracial who is not around Black people like that. Well, then why are you on a YouTube channel that talks about Blackness and our experiences in the Black community? If you want a channel that centers 50-50 Black-white biracials, this ain't the channel for you. Because this is my channel. I get to talk about whatever groups I want at whatever time. So I'm going to talk about mixed people, I'm going to talk about light-skinned Black women, I'm going to talk about colorism, texturism, or featureism, or whatever I want at any given moment. This channel was created to break the stereotypes of mixed race people because number one, not every mixed person is biracial. Biracial means you only have 2 races in your background. Multiracial means you have 3 races in your background. In fact, a lot of people who identify as biracial are actually not even biracial. They're multiracial. They've got 3 races in their background, like Janae Aiko and tons of other people. So that's number one. Number 2, this channel does not center whiteness at its core. This channel doesn't center white passing mixed people. And I feel like for a long time, because a lot of mixed race people haven't spoken up, the stereotype of being mixed has been being a 50-50 Black-white biracial. And this channel seeks to unite people who do not fit the stereotypes. That's what this channel is all about. It's about women who defy stereotypes, not women who fit every single stereotype of every community. So that includes the mixed community. And I'll never back down on that. And who gonna check me? This person says, I mean, Justine Skye is mixed, though she looks Blindian or Dougla. You can still be black-skinned and mixed. If your father is mixed and your mother is Black, you are a quarter white. Therefore, genetically, you are mixed. Nothing wrong with that. There is some truth to her page, but doesn't take from the fact that her page is a mixed supremacy page. So please explain to me Eliza Wang 44, who has a picture of somebody with very loose type 3 hair on her AV. Please explain to me what mixed supremacy is and how this channel promotes mixed supremacy, seeing as I include monoracial people on this channel. See, I was actually smart enough to think about this kind of stuff before I decided to start a YouTube channel and quit my job, because I'm not dumb enough to try to further divide women based on racial mixtures, skin tones, hair textures, etc. I saw an open space in the YouTube niche. I saw an open space in terms of empowerment content. And I noticed that the entire space that was left open was for multiple groups. So all of those groups are welcome on this channel. So it's basically anybody who does not fit being an unambiguous mono dark-skinned Black woman. And when I say that, I'm using the standards that were created by channels like Chrissy's or, other channels like that. So who gonna check me? This person says, how does being mistaken for a monoracial make one an exotical? Exotical is not a race. Evil baby. She said monoracials are always in exotical spaces and it's annoying. Okay, so your definition is that you cannot be Black and have any sort of exoticism to your phenotype. So that's your own internalized anti-Blackness, evil baby. That's not something that I promote on this channel. I do believe that Blackness can be seen as exotic. I've noticed that people who are Black, they view non-Blackness as exotic, or people who are kind of like in line with the Black community, they only view non-Blackness as exotic. And then meanwhile, people who are maybe multiracial, mixed, or non-Black tend to view Blackness as being exotic. So I fall into the second category, and I'm never changing it. This person said, I never said that. I don't think they're trying to be in your space. Usually they prefer to be monoracial and are usually the most Afrocentric, but others throw them into the exotical group. So I think that this person is talking about mono-Black women who benefit from either colorism, texturism, or featureism. And that's correct. I mean, that's the premise of this channel as well, because colorism, texturism, and featureism are such a huge talking point in the Black culture, to the point where even if you are straight from Africa, if you have thinner features like a narrow nose and a small mouth and kind of straighter hair, for example, people who are from the Horn of Africa, they don't care that you are from the Horn of Africa. People are still going to stereotype you, and they're going to accuse you of benefiting from isms. Or in some cases, people will dislike you and other you and assume that you are an immigrant or something like that. They'll make ignorant assumptions. Being monoracial won't save you from your exotical wake-up call. You know how they say the N-word wake-up call? Well, being monoracial, it's not going to save you from the exotical wake-up call, because once the colorism, texturism, or featureism conversation comes up, which it inevitably will, you're going to be the one singled out or silenced or told that you don't understand. And so this channel is only for those who can relate to that. If you can't relate, you're not my core audience. If you don't like the content, you're not my core audience. This person says she's been open about this from one of the first videos from 2 years ago. It was responding to the comments on Chrissy's channel. I will say telling people that they don't belong in your space and that they should make their own, then acting surprised when they do, is silly. It's the same reason Chrissy made one video on this sector and then dropped it. You can't be surprised when people follow your instructions. Exactly. When I was an avid follower of pro-black spaces, I mean, you guys know me, I was so pro-black to the point where I, like I said, went to an HBCU, was doing all kinds of work with the black community. Yes, I was one of the people that was out on the streets protesting. So I was so entrenched in helping the black community to where, yeah, I felt like I can comment on these channels and have no problem. But then I got othered, or I got told, these spaces are exclusive, and that's totally fine. So you can't get mad when 30 of us make our own channels. I feel like people aren't mad about my channel only. People are mad that dozens of us are creating excellent content. By the way, if you guys didn't get a chance to see Exotical Dollhouse's recent videos or All Mixed Up MGM, be sure to subscribe to them because they have phenomenal analysis content. So I think people are really threatened by the fact that it's not just me. There are multiple versions of myself because I don't view myself as like above any of the other content creators. So I feel like people are really, really just mad because there are dozens of us who are actually amazing content creators who are speaking out. This is bigger than just me. This person says, Exhibit A. So this person isn't even mixed, but has been claiming to be mixed and laughing right along with these women who make disparaging comments about black women. You can be anyone you want to be on the internet. Unbelievable. So first of all, what are the disparaging comments about black women? Because my comment sections are heavily moderated, but let's click on the comment. So first of all, neither of these people are even showing themselves, so there's no way for her to know if they're mixed race or not. But this commenter on my channel had said, it's crazy because now the black community are considering the white passing mixed race people as white, 75% white and 25% black. And even though I am a darker skinned mixed person, I would say I am caramel skin tone. People never considered me as just black. Everyone that I ever encountered always saw me as mixed. And they would always say it was due to my hair and features. I even had a girl come up to me and ask what I was mixed with, and I said I was black. And she was like, no, I know you're black, but what else are you? So I see nothing wrong with this person leaving this comment. Another person said, your comment is so relatable to me. I've had strangers try to argue me down claiming I was mixed because of my eyes and hair texture. I honestly don't know what my admixture is, but I hope to buy one of those DNA test thingies and find out for myself. So what's wrong with people admitting that they get seen as being mixed or that they are perceived as being mixed? I don't see what's wrong with that. And also, if you can't relate to the content, why are you worried about what these women think of themselves? Do you see what I'm saying about how a lot of women with inferiority complexes, they want to control your self-perception. And so they want to try to bully you and make you question your own experiences. That's actually called gaslighting. That's actually a part of gaslighting. They will try to make you think that you're crazy. And it's like, if these women have been asked what they're mixed with, that is not the average experience of an unambiguous mono dark-skinned black woman who has the 4C hair and the broad West African / Bantu features. That's not the average experience that they have. This person says, this is absolutely utterly stupid. And before y'all self-proclaimed exoticals start, this is a black women's website before it is a thread, so take that at what you will. I am a woman that's been deemed an exotical my entire life. Do you see how whenever people try to detract from this channel, they only feel like they are allowed to do it if they themselves are mixed race or benefiting from an ism? So it's like, oh, I get to talk shit about Exoticals United's channel because according to her channel, I'm an exotical and I disagree. So guess what? I get extra brownie points on Lipstick Alley. I get extra likes and thumbs up on Lipstick Alley because I'm a quote-unquote exotical speaking against other exoticals. She said, I'm a woman that's been deemed as exotical my entire life. My good hair, my thinner nose, my thinner lips, my Creole family, all of that. But let me tell you, I promise you from the bottom of my heart that pretty girl privilege only went so far for people like me who have dark skin, who struggled with PCOS, who don't always fit a beauty standard that society placed on black women, and then some. So does this pretty girl clique or preference clique only extend to brown skin or light skinned exoticals? Nope. So you typed all of that off of a false premise. 50 Cynthia, Ja Rule's ex-wife. You typed all of that off of a false premise. How do you feel? And now I'm getting paid off of it. Exotical tax. She said, that's when they need to claim all exoticals are pretty and the preference. Absolutely absurd. In my culture, as a Creole descendant, we are all black. We don't discriminate against one another because we are all family. She said, I have lighter-skinned family members, darker-skinned family members. We are all black, and we all face prejudice and discrimination in our lineage. I'm sorry, 50 Cynthia, when did I, on the Exoticals United channel, say that you can't face discrimination? She says, I have never once felt the need to claim this stupid title of exotical. So do you see how she's actually making it a title? I just made it the name of my YouTube account. She's making this an actual legitimate social title. She said, I never once felt the need to claim this stupid title of exotical. If anything, I felt horrible once I realized that the compliments on my features or my hair meant something deeper for black women who were giving it. Plus, I've seen 90% black people have different features as well. So you're actually agreeing with the talking points of my channel while attempting to simultaneously derail my channel. Nice try. She said, black women are the pretty girl tribe. Black women have always been the standard. Remember, y'all share a space in black culture. Enough said. I'm sorry, when did I say black women are not pretty? Next. This person said, I watched a lot of her videos and commentary, but I'm not getting it. Well, you're probably not my core audience. Yuzu with a picture of a shirtless Asian man on your AV. If you don't understand the content, that's because it's not for you. So please feel free to block me or unsubscribe. This person says, it's giving dead end, to be honest. Like a lot of the things she says are valid. Okay, so first it's a dead end, and then in the next sentence you say a lot of the things I say are valid. So which one is it? She said she doesn't like unambiguous black women, doesn't like all men, doesn't like white women, etc. Does she want to be with her fellow exoticals then? Well, first of all, yeah, my boyfriend does happen to be mixed race. But yes, I bring smoke to everyone on this channel. And also, if you just said you don't get it, then why are you naming all of the commentary and all of the videos you watched? I thought you didn't get it. Why would you waste time watching content if you don't get it? He said, like, there's no solution for anything. I started feeling a bit depressed after watching some of her videos because it just never ends. I'm sorry, did you say that you were my core audience? Because last time I checked, if you're not my core audience, my content's not for you. You should probably not spend hours watching content that you cannot relate to. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That would be like if I watched a white woman's channel about blondes and talking about all the fun things about being blonde and how cool it is to be blonde and your experience being a white blonde, and then I get mad and say, I'm depressed now because I just watched this channel that doesn't center around me. And then she said, well, at least YouTube is her income stream, I guess. Ironically enough, her channel is giving struggle and trauma bonding that she says black women are known for. When did I say black women are known only for struggle and trauma bonding? So that's you that is equating blackness to struggle and trauma bonding. Number two, I can tell that you've actually watched my video and watched me name all of the positive things about women in this community and get offended by it because you don't relate to it. So sounds more like a personal problem to me. First of all, who gets their entire sense of self-esteem from a YouTube channel that's not even geared towards them? That's number one. This person said, I find it interesting that these channels started popping up out of nowhere. Literally all they do is prove the shit Chrissy has been saying for years. But they think since they're reclaiming certain terms, it's giving them power. Who said that we're gaining power by reclaiming terms? I mean, thank you. I'm very flattered that you associate having a simple YouTube channel with having power. I mean, wow. The fact that people are thinking that my channel, which only has like 18,000 subscribers, has all this power, I mean, thank you. I'm actually very flattered by that. You're boosting my ego. She said, all it's doing is proving how deranged some of them are. We're so deranged that you decided to follow this channel and watch it and then comment about it. You're a really smart one, Bleachy Keen. She said, after seeing one video from a different channel titled Being Mixed and Light-Skinned Makes You Inherently Pretty, I knew that these silly bitches are sick. They sound just like their non-black creators, particularly the white ones. So if somebody said being dark-skinned and unambiguous makes you pretty, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I wouldn't be offended by that. If somebody said being Italian makes you pretty, being Latina is pretty, I don't have a problem with anybody thinking that their ethnic group or their racial background or phenotype makes them pretty. So you seem to be the one that has a problem with other people thinking they're pretty, Bleachy Kane. Why is it that only one group of women or only one skin tone gets to pump themselves up, and then if I pump myself up, then suddenly I'm being anti those other groups? It's like, no, every woman deserves to love herself out loud. There's nothing wrong with that. This person says, I disagree. Chrissy, just like a lot of preachy black woman / mixed YouTubers, had moments where they were off their rocker. Many of those channels never gave up a chance to insult the looks of other women. This channel doesn't insult the looks of other women, so I don't know who you're talking about, Warm Love. And like all these pictures with men in them, like are these your crushes or are these men who are talking? Like, because this person has a picture of a random white guy as the profile pic, so I'm assuming that's her crush or something. But she said many of these channels never gave up a chance to insult the looks of other women. In this regard, this Exotical YouTuber is just like them. False. This channel doesn't feel the need to make fun of other women's looks because I have damn near every phenotype on this YouTube channel. So me making fun of a certain hair texture, I would be making fun of women within this community. Like if I were to talk shit about 4C hair, I'd be making fun of mixed race women or light-skinned women with 4C hair. I'm not dumb enough to do that, like how a lot of the other YouTubers were. She said Chrissy was the same one making it seem like Cassie deserved the abuse from Diddy and made it her mission to make Cassie seem like a plotter. This person said, to be fair, they are just giving back the energy. Exactly. I've been following Chrissy for years alongside other channels. I still follow Chrissy to this day. I'm a part of her membership. So this is not me trying to bash unambiguous mono dark-skinned black women. This is just me creating a space for women who do not fit that phenotype and women who don't relate to that experience. But she said, I've been following Chrissy for years alongside other channels, and these women have a habit to shade, insult, or critique mixed and lighter-skinned women unprovoked. They also like to make fun of them being abused or assaulted by black men, too. They have been coming at these women unprovoked throughout the years. Exactly. These other channels were here for like a decade before I came on here. She said at least channels like Exoticals United allow non-racially ambiguous women in their comment section. Exactly. I'm actually a lot more lenient with my comment section. People say that like, oh, I delete people and stuff. I only delete you if you are clearly coming here to argue or to disparage people and like, discredit people. But for the most part, anybody of any phenotype can comment as long as they are being respectful. She said, this is not the case for channels like Chrissy's who do not believe in solidarity by non-dark skin or non-black women, as she thinks it is pandering. Yeah, I've noticed that people, they want to bully me out of allowing other women to comment on here, and they'll try to say that I'm pandering because I don't disparage darker skinned, unambiguous women. And it's like, if you think that's pandering, I mean, I really don't care. I'm still getting paid, so. Exotical tax! She said, I have my issues with Exoticals United and channels like hers, but 90% of their content consists of uplifting themselves and their phenotypes. They don't bash other women unless they respond to their bashing. The issue with content creators like Chrissy is that they spend most of their time bashing women of other phenotypes instead of simply empowering or uplifting themselves. Yeah, and also when it comes to agreeing with every single thing I say, tell me one human being on this earth where you agree with everything they say. You don't even agree with everything your own parents say. You don't even agree with everything your own friend or your husband or boyfriend says. So why is it a big deal if people on my channel don't agree with everything that I say? I mean, I would hope that you're not blindly following anyone. This is not a cult. This is literally just me sharing my thoughts and just talking my shit. This person says, even people on Lipstick Alley want us to forget how half of them used to throw a party whenever a black man unalived a woman that was not phenotypically black looking. So apparently they used to have parties online when mixed race or lighter skinned women would be unalived by black men, which I didn't know. She said it was a scary time back then, which was too long ago. Now those same fonts go around calling people pick-me's. A lot of YouTubers like Chrissy started that sociopathic bullshit, but they don't want to remember that part though. This person says, the idea doesn't bother me in and of itself. I think it should be fine for everyone to have their own space while simultaneously communicating with other people outside of said space. I just don't like the way some of her comments brag and act superior. So people in my comments are bragging and acting superior. How so? By loving themselves out loud? By saying they love their skin tones or their hair textures? How is that acting superior? This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, you can't comment positively on your race or your background. That's being superior. She says, I haven't seen enough of her videos, but I've seen a lot of her comments say, we get it, you're never chosen, in regards to dark-skinned black women. And that made me shrink away from the channel because she liked those said comments. This is coming from a multiracial girl. Okay, well, Kea06, do not subscribe to my YouTube channel because this channel is not a politically correct channel. If you're looking for a channel that does not talk about real issues or a channel that does not call out the hypocrisy that we see in unambiguous spaces, this is not the channel for you. So I suggest that you follow somebody else. This person says, I find it funny how when channels like Chrissy are constantly heavily criticized and deemed divisive, insecure, etc., yet Exoticals United's channels are deemed fair. Well, I do think that this side of YouTube is more fair because we have all the phenotypes over here. And we don't try to separate based on all of the different phenotypes or disparage any particular phenotype or skin tone. And that's where a lot of the other channels got it wrong. This person says, Exoticals United has some good talking points, yet she is really jealous of Aloho and Chiyama, who are both darker skinned with bigger platforms. Yeah, I'm so jealous of them. Oh my god, I should delete my YouTube channel because I'm just jealous of the other YouTubers. She said she is always sneak dissing Aloho, showing Aloho trying on wigs and clips of Aloho's videos. Oh, okay, so are you admitting that it's a sneak diss to show an unambiguous woman who talks crap about mixed race women's hair while putting their hair on her head? She said she doesn't like unambiguous black women wearing her hair texture, but she's fine with other exoticals wearing weaves and wigs to enhance their beauty. I don't have a problem with unambiguous black women wearing my hair texture who don't talk shit about my hair texture. Women like Aloho, Queen Chama, and a lot of other, and Chrissy have talked crap about light-skinned women with type 3 and type 4 hair textures. So yes, for those content creators in particular, I will continuously call that out until they themselves come back on their YouTube channels and say, hey, I shouldn't have, called people ramen noodle head ass bitches, or I shouldn't have said that these women have struggle follicles and that their hair is cursed. I think Aloho is the one who said Brianna Monique, who has type 3 hair, that her hair is cursed. So yeah, if you call type 3 hair textures cursed while simultaneously gluing a type 3 hair texture on your head, I am going to call out the hypocrisy. And who gon' check me? She said she's fine with other exoticals wearing weaves and wigs to enhance their beauty. Yeah, I'm fine with people wearing whatever they want to enhance their beauty because over here, we're not dumb enough to talk about any phenotype being ugly. And so that's why I don't care if I wear a wig that has a type 4 hair texture because you've never seen me talk shit about and pull up pictures and say she has 4 inches of fried leave out and wannabe Brazilian wavy like how you saw on Chrissy's channel. So I don't feel that cognitive dissonance. That's why it's okay for me to have a sense of fluid beauty. She said, how come people never mentioned how a lot of biracial women are behind getting BBLs or lip injections? Who are they trying to emulate there? They're probably trying to emulate their African ancestry. So this is what you don't understand. If you are biracial, you are both black and something else. And so you have the right to embrace both equally. You don't have to pick a side. Just because somebody is half white doesn't mean that they can only be around white people or only look like a white person. Because don't even get me started about the unambiguous people who do all kinds of things to look more quote-unquote European. And I'm talking about people who are 100% African from Nigeria with no admixture. She said, it's okay for Chrissy to not show her face because her platform was never about being a baddie. Yet Exoticals United cannot show her face, but hates on Aloho, who was a real model. First of all, I don't have to prove my beauty to anyone. And actually, not to toot my own horn, but I've also done modeling myself. I didn't come on YouTube to try to flex my beauty on others because I don't view beauty as a competition like you, Tenochtitlan. I don't view beauty as a competition. So I don't view it like, oh, Aloho is now invalid because I think I am prettier than her. That's not what this YouTube channel was created for. It wasn't created for me to come on here and say, oh my God, I'm so much prettier than everybody else. And oh my God, I'm just so much better than them. And they're so ugly. But that's the way that you're seeing it because you have a scarcity mentality when it comes to beauty. You feel like beauty is a competition between light-skinned women and dark-skinned women, and that people who talk about beauty have to prove their beauty in order to talk about it. Has anyone noticed how whenever you start talking about pretty privilege, people want to start attacking your beauty, or they want to try to judge you and say, oh, you need to show your face so that I can judge how pretty you are. Or they'll say, like, you're not pretty enough to talk about pretty privilege. You're not pretty enough to call yourself beautiful. And it's like, there is no threshold of beauty in order to feel beautiful or in order to create YouTube videos about pretty privilege. She said, Aloho is the main one who benefits from pretty privilege, and she's an unambiguous Black woman. Nobody on this channel ever said Aloho does not benefit from pretty privilege. So if she benefits so much from pretty privilege, she should probably talk more about it on her channel. But she probably wouldn't be able to because a lot of her subscribers would not really be able to relate to that. So a lot of those channels talk more about MLS celebrities versus talking about their own pretty privilege. So that's not my problem. That would be their problem on their YouTube channels. She said the constant videos over darker skinned women and their self-hatred is also revealing of some of the Exotical's self-hatred. There were plenty of clips and videos of Doja Cat hating her hair texture and skin color too. Why do they just focus on darker skinned women's self-hatred, meanwhile denying theirs? This channel is not focused on how we hate ourselves. That's not a good marketing strategy. Tenno Chitlon. That's not how you empower other people. You don't empower people by talking about how much you hate yourself. So just because that's something that they may do over on unambiguous YouTube channels, it doesn't mean that I'm required to do the same thing, because that's called having an inferiority complex. This channel does not teach inferiority complexes. This person says, this is a good point. Aloho's banging. It's weird when she doesn't have pretty privilege. To be honest, EU acts like pretty privilege is only limited to people who aren't unambiguous dark-skinned Black women. This is false. My channel is not focused on unambiguous dark-skinned Black women, so why would I randomly make videos about how much pretty privilege unambiguous dark-skinned Black women have when that's not my core audience? Why would I make YouTube videos on a channel that is not directed towards my core audience? That doesn't make sense. It's not going to help me to make an income, and it's also not a perspective that I can speak from, because I'm not an unambiguous mono dark-skinned Black woman. So why would I make a video on that? And also, why does my channel have to suddenly center around how pretty unambiguous women are? Why are you expecting me to be your representation? Stop begging this channel to represent unambiguous dark-skinned Black women. If you want to talk about unambiguous women having pretty privilege, go tell Aloho to talk about that then. She's been on YouTube for years. She's had plenty of time to make whatever videos about whatever she wants. Stop expecting me to represent your beauty. This is exactly your problem. You're constantly begging others to be your representation, to tell your story, to represent your beauty. I don't look like your community. I'm not welcome over in those types of spaces. So go and tell the leaders of your community on YouTube, since you put content creators on such a high pedestal, go tell them to make videos about that. She said, what threw me off was when she criticized unambiguous dark-skinned women for wearing fake hair, relaxers, colored contacts, contouring, some other types of methods to change their look, when women who aren't in their category do the same thing. The reason that I criticize that is because I'm criticizing specifically the unambiguous women who talk crap about MLS women. If you're just a regular unambiguous woman who's just minding your own business and you don't talk shit about other phenotypes, then I have no smoke for you. All of my smoke videos are only for those that it applies to. So if the shoe fits, the video is towards you. But I don't have a problem with other random women just minding their business wearing contacts. She said, I have a caramel complexion who experimented with fake hair or relaxers, and so did my fair-skinned mother. Again, why is that relevant? That has nothing to do with what you were talking about, but okay. This person says, I don't think the creator is white or even close to white, as I have noticed they rarely talk about white passing mixed women. This is correct. I myself am not white passing. And also this channel does not center white passing mixed women, because I've noticed in the Black community, they do center more white passing mixed women as a way to invalidate the mixed identity of women who are non-white passing. And they'll say things like, you look like a light-skinned Black woman, or so-and-so looks whiter than you. So this channel seeks to destroy as many stereotypes about mixed race women as possible. And so one of the stereotypes that I'm seeking to counteract is the stereotype that whiteness is the center of the mixed race identity. Not every mixed person is 50-50 Black and white. So that's one of my main agendas, and that's part of why I don't tend to always show 50-50 Black, white, biracials, or white passing biracials, because this channel is supposed to promote mixed race women who maybe are darker skinned, or mixed race women who do not fit a 50-50 Black, white, biracial stereotype, such as Blasian women, or women who have Native or Indigenous ancestry. So that's one of the agendas of my channel. I'm never changing it. If you have a problem with that, don't subscribe. This person says, her talking points are more focused on multi-generationally mixed or light-skinned Black. Yes, because I feel like a lot of multi-generationally mixed people, first of all, that's actually a term that I heard on YouTube. That this channel was not created just to talk about that. That was something I discovered here on YouTube. But like I said, this channel is based on where I saw the biggest gap in terms of YouTube content creation. So my content creation goal is to fill as many gaps as possible. I don't see as much of a content gap when it comes to talking about white passing mixed race women. I don't see as much of a content gap, but I do see a content gap when it comes to multi-generationally mixed people. So for example, I consider Latin American people to be multi-generationally mixed. I consider a lot of Blasian or Black and Indian people who have maybe like a Caribbean background to be multi-generationally mixed. And I don't see as many people making content about people from those backgrounds. And so I'm here to fill that gap, and I'm never changing it. And who gonna check me? Same thing goes with light-skinned Black women. A lot of people stereotype light-skinned mono Black women as having the same exact experiences as dark-skinned Black women, and we all know that that's false. This girl says she focuses much more on women who are on the 3/4 Black than the 1/4 Black. That's correct. And I don't see a need to change that. I like that about my channel. That's actually a part of what makes my channel stand out amongst other mixed race content creators. That's part of why my channel has grown so much. It's because I talk about the mixed people that a lot of people do not talk about. So this is why I'm growing in both the Black YouTube community and the mixed race YouTube community, because I am filling two open sectors of YouTube that are not discussed. And so that's called having a marketing strategy, Jody Landon. But she said 1/4 are accepted more as mixed. So that's false. I do not believe 1/4 Black people are accepted more as mixed. I believe that 1/4 Black people are more stereotyped by unambiguous Black people as being mixed. And I feel like 1/4 Black people are oftentimes used by unambiguous people as the standard for mixed race. And because a lot of mixed race people who do not look white passing have not started YouTube channels standing up for their exact mixed or biracial phenotype, then it causes a gap when it comes to mixed people's representation. So this channel seeks to represent darker skinned mixed people as well as non-white passing multiracials. And also, if you think I'm saying things on here about the mixed experience that are not true, Jody Landon, where's your YouTube channel? Where's your mixed race YouTube channel? Because it's very easy to talk shit when you're sitting on the sidelines. It's easy to talk shit when you're in the comment section. So at the end of the day, I am actually pushing the conversation forward for mixed race Black people. And I'm the first channel that I've come across that has ever focused directly on non-white passing mixed race people. I've never seen any other mixed content creators focus on mixed people who are not white passing. So that's a part of why that's one of my biggest kind of like focuses on this channel whenever I do speak on mixed race people. She said the amount of fonts on here who will accept true biracials with a Black parent like Zendaya or Tinashe, but not Tyla, mixed mother, and claim all quadroons are white despite some looking mixed, says otherwise. And yeah, I've noticed that people who look more like Tyla get more pushed in and out of Blackness from what I've seen in terms of media representation versus somebody who looks like Sophia Richie, you know, more white passing, or Halsey. I don't see as many people fighting to keep those women in the Black community unless, of course, they date a white man like Meghan Markle. But in any other case, if like a more white-leaning biracial person is just existing, for the most part, they're not going to be pushed into the unambiguous Black community as much as somebody like maybe Cardi B or Beyonce, or, you know, somebody who doesn't quite fit the mixed race stereotype. So this person says, to be honest, it seems like EU's channel focuses on light-skinned brown people, whether they are biracial, multiracial, MGM, or light-skinned Black. It's not so much about relating due to who your parents are, as it is relating to the experiences from the society you share due to the light brown phenotype. Two things can be true at the same time. I've got 500 videos on this channel, so I've actually touched on what you're talking about here, and I've also touched on other phenotypes as well. She said, I find it hard to believe that if you're a light-skinned Black woman, there are no overlaps between our experiences because the general public would see us both as light-skinned. This person says, my main issue with Exoticals United is she is too vague with what counts as exotical. I can't take anything she says seriously. I also get Femcel vibes from her. So just because my channel is not centered around men doesn't make me a quote-unquote femcel, but since we're talking about the terminology femcel, this channel does support celibacy. I don't see anything wrong with celibacy at all. You sound very male-centered, Beige Becky. You sound like you are trying to invalidate women based on their relationship status. So that's your own problem. And also, I get to determine what I talk about on my channel. I get to define whatever I want on my channel. I can create whatever content I want. I can use whatever slang terms I want to and whatever images I want to. And this is my domain. I'm the boss of this YouTube channel. So if you're so concerned and you can't take this seriously, or you feel like you can somehow do it better, well, then where's your channel? Brissa Belair, Beige Becky. Next, this person says she's definitely a femcel. She always reminisces on how she was super skinny in her prime. So once again, this is giving red pill talking points. You're a femcel, no man wants you. She's reminiscing on how she was skinny in her prime. What is a woman's prime? You mean like teenager or early 20s? It's giving, this is the same talking point that red pill women give. I've told you guys so many times, a lot of the unambiguous pro-black women talking points are literally mirror images of black manosphere talking points. Nobody wants you. You're a femcel. You used to be in your prime. You hit the wall, basically, is what this person is saying. That's literally what she's saying. Oh, she reminisces on how she was super skinny in her prime. So she's trying to say, I hit the wall. So that's literally no different from red pill people. And she mentioned how she lost her pretty privilege before from weight gain. I don't see an issue with people losing their pretty privilege from weight gain and then gaining it back. I see nothing wrong with that at all, because unlike you, love her last name, I don't have a scarcity mindset in terms of beauty, nor do I solely define myself based on just physical beauty or my weight. She said if she's Hispanic, white, and black, I doubt she is super light-skinned to the point where she looks ambiguous. So you are basing your definition of ambiguous around whiteness. So once again, you're exposing yourself. So you're giving male-centered, is giving red pill, and is giving whiteness-centered, aka Blackistan talking points, all of these. She said if she was smart, she would just divest from black men. Why not date other MLS men or Latino or white men, since they are also your culture? I already am. So nice try. This person says, depends what you're mixed with. You can be light-skinned, basically white passing. You walk into a room full of racist white people, you're a mutt N-word. They don't give an F about passing shit. They will sniff someone out like a hound. So actually a lot in common if you're mixed with black. You're just blinded by the little bit of privilege you do have to say something like this. Educate yourself. So this person is giving the you're still an N-word talking point. This girl who was talking shit about me earlier says, I am literally always around white people. Oh, congratulations, evil baby, for always being around white people. Do you see what I mean about how a lot of people over on the ignorant side of the black community, they center their identity around whiteness, they center their desirability around whiteness, they center the standards for mixed race around whiteness, and now you've got somebody on Lipstick Alley bragging about how she's literally always around white people. Congratulations. So now they've pulled up a picture of Pretty In Between's channel. They said, Exoticals United has so many copycat channels popping up now with black women claiming to be exoticals. This is getting embarrassing. No one thinks you're mixed passing outside of the other chronically online folks who desperately want to cling to that identity. Okay, but even so, that's still a part of the person's experience, their experience on the internet. And so who are you to tell people what they can and can't talk about? Gemini Divine? Since you're so smart, why don't you start a YouTube channel then? She says it's funny how she constantly calls black women jealous, but all of a sudden every pretty black woman is an exotical. It's obvious she's living through pretty black women and is jealous of the visibility they have. No, the reason that we call them exoticals is because you, in the black community, tend to base your beauty standards around colorism, texturism, and featureism. So your beauty standards for dark-skinned black women's beauty are usually dark-skinned mixed women, or dark-skinned women who benefit from featureism and texturism, such as women from the Horn of Africa. And then your standards for black women as a whole tend to be light-skinned, monoracial black women, or mixed race women. So you guys are the ones who think that pretty means you benefit from an ism, not us. By the way, be sure to subscribe to Pretty In Between. She has an excellent YouTube channel. This person says, it's really unfortunate. It's because of self-hate. Black women need to celebrate themselves and their own unique beauty instead of having this mindset that they need to be mixed with Cherokee to be pretty. Okay, so you just contradicted yourself, Gemini Divine. I work off of the premise that a lot of unambiguous black women view being mixed or quote-unquote looking stereotypically mixed as being pretty. This channel is created as a way to expose that on a grand scale. And I've obviously succeeded because we've got over 70 pages worth of content on Lipstick Alley. She said she was definitely married to a black man. So when she was in college at her HBCU, she was a femcel and didn't date any men at her college. Oh, okay. So now, do you see what I mean? They're obsessed with my dating life, who I'm dated, who I slept with. Am I a femcel? Am I sleeping with guys? Was my ex-husband black? Was he not black? I need to divest. By the way, I've never been married to an unambiguous black man. Just saying. No shade towards that, but that's just not my story. This person says, and why does EU use black unambiguous women as her thumbnail pic? I feel like she only gets clicks and views from unambiguous black women. Why are you so concerned with who I get clicks and views from? Love her last name. If you're so concerned with clicks and views, maybe you should start a YouTube channel. And also, I love how you're using an image of a dark-skinned woman with a small nose and type 3A hair as unambiguous. So do you see how they constantly move the goalpost for unambiguous? Do you see what I mean with throwing people in and out of unambiguous blackness? Thank you, love her last name, for proving my point. This person said, maybe she went to an all-girls HBCU. I thought she said she used to be married to a black man, but I wasn't sure. Someone else said, I doubt she went to an all-girls HBCU, and typically all-girls HBCUs usually have all-boys HBCUs in the same city or town. So do you see how there's this obsession with like, who have I dated? Who have I slept with? Was he black or not? Somebody else said, anyone who is black passing is not exotical. It's so weird and cringe to see them comment about being the pretty girl when I click on their avatars and they look like the chicks they are dissing. So she's saying you're too black to be considered exotic. This person says, the word exotical has lost its meaning. Okay, so what do you think the word exotical should mean, Gemini Divine, since you're the queen of this community? I didn't even know it was a real community. I thought this was just the name of my YouTube channel, but since you're the queen, what should that word mean? She said her audience is either unambiguous black women or women that you can clearly tell are mixed with black. Let me stay off her channel because I don't want to give her any more views. Too late. You've already caused me to get paid. I'm over an hour in at this point. And also, why are you so concerned with who's watching my channel, especially if you yourself don't like the channel? Clearly you're a fan, Gemini Divine. Just admit you're a fan and move on. Exotical tax. This person says, since when has exotical meant white passing? The term literally originated on Lipstick Alley and was used to talk about black passing mixed women all the time, and even light-skinned black women. I think you guys are confused about the term's origin. Exactly. I got my term exotical from the commenters on Unambiguous Women's channel who were using that term to describe anyone who was not an unambiguous monoracial dark-skinned black woman. So it didn't matter if she was mixed with white or not. This one says, we know it means ambiguous. If you can pass for a single monoracial race, you are not ambiguous. So you would be ambiguous if you are mixed race and can pass as monoracially either white or black because your actual DNA has ambiguity to it and your actual cultural experience and upbringing has ambiguity to it, or at least that's how I see it on this channel. And seeing as I'm the creator of this channel, I get to make the rules. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.